Every year, GTR magazine throws a big event in Japan at Fuji Speedway where all the GTRs get together. It's called R's Meeting. And this year we were able to take 4 or 5 customers out who have purchased R34s. We were able to keep them with the shotgun and inspected. And so everyone was able to drive their car out to the event, get some pictures in front of Fuji Speedway. It was a great event and a really awesome experience to be able to share that with our customers. I remember in high school, doing the skating thing, people started showing up with a Civic or a Prelude. Back then it was a lot of the Honda kids. It fascinated me, and I ended up going to a shop at the time called Import Sports. And through that journey, I was able to discover the different cars and what's available. And that's when I first started finding out that what was in Japan is not what we had here. And in that process of doing that, there was a guy from Japan going to see you at the time, and he would come to the shop and offer, stuff from Japan. And in that process, I was able to get the Civic Type R book and the Integra Type R book, before the internet got really big, and access to those parts. And so I started selling those parts. Civic Type R cams was a huge one. And for my performance and selling all those parts, I was invited to go to Japan to meet people at Spoon, to go to Tokyo Auto Salon. I got to go see the drifters drifting through the hills, and I got to do like that Smoky Nagata experience where you park in the tunnel and get it up to about 200 miles an hour. The lights just turn into a solid beam. Well, this time it was special because we got to share it with our customers. So we really do this for the passion of the cars and the community that we serve. And so to be able to help, people achieve their dream of purchasing an R34, and then not only doing that, but being able to drive it in Japan and go to Fuji Speedway and experience R's Day. And the group of people we had was a lot of fun. It was really, really good to share that. I think that's what made this trip so special. Also, I've worked with Eric with True JDM for a long time, and this was the first trip that we were able to get out there together. And so that was also really good. All right, so we're out here at R's Meeting in the parking lot, looking around. There's Eric. The cars out here are insane. Already I've become jaded. I've seen so many good cars that you don't know which one's good anymore. Yeah. All right, we just stumbled into another rarity. I believe this is the rarest color ever, a BN0.
Yeah, this is a really, really cool car.
I would say more than half the people, it was their first time to Japan. And when you buy a car overseas, there's a lot of faith that goes into that, right? You're sending money to someone you've never seen before for a car you haven't seen in person, to a country you've never been to, frankly. And so, to see that full circle moment, for everyone to see their cars and really appreciate it, I think was phenomenal. And just, checking things off the list, I think was super special as well. The first stop where we all got collected together was actually a pretty special experience in itself. We met up at the Mines headquarters, and so we had all of our cars parked out. We got an exclusive tour of Mines, and just before the show, they hadn't planned on this, but they had the original Mines car kind of refreshed and ready to show everybody, and they brought the original Mines 34 to the location for us to view. And to me, that was extra special. Everyone knows the Mines 34. It's the car that's in Gran Turismo and all the games. And so I got to see that car when it was new at Tokyo Auto Salon on display. And so to see that this trip with everybody, bring it all full circle, I think was super special.
That was fun.
Last time we did Daikaku, the Cars and Coffee, and this time we got to do the nighttime experience. We went on a Saturday and it was packed. And Daikaku is hit or miss because, you know, every once in a while you get loud exhaust and the bozo guys or someone, you know, doing something crazy. And more often than not now, the police will come and shut it down early. And so to be able to experience that with everybody in such a full broad spectrum of vehicles there and not having it shut down and, you know, all of our customers having their own car to experience that, I think that was extra special. It's Friday night down here at Daikaku. This is a crazy turnout. Lots of good shit today. Let's check it out.
We're here at Daikaku and it's popping.
It's popping like crazy today, right?
Like the 355 just ripped on out of here.
This is one of the biggest I've seen it, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest mobile car show on earth.
We got to meet up with our buddy Kiko Zilla out there. He bought this 33 from us a long time ago and he's out there, he had a 34. So it was fun to catch up with him. It was a very interesting experience out in Daikaku because he was just here dropping this car off to sell, made the trip from storage to bring the silver 33 behind me. And then a week later to see him in Japan. That was an interesting experience as well. I've been to the Amore factory a couple times now, but it always never ceases to amaze. In the Amore factory, they have like vertical stripes on the roof that make for really cool pictures, and just the history and lineage of that place. A lot of our customers were able to buy parts they got. For example, there's a tow hook that they sell there that's really hard to get outside of there. And so to see everyone have the opportunity to get those parts and enjoy that experience and take pictures in front of the Nismo building, and you know, we had all the cars and someone had to have a regular car, so I was in a Nissan Pro Box. No, it's Toyota. Toyota makes it. It's called a Pro Box. It looks like a little work van. And so we got a cool picture with all of us in front of the Pro Box in front of the Amore factory. The cool thing about ours meeting is just like, I think last year they opened up the Fuji Speedway Hotel, and this hotel is amazing. I've been able to stay in a couple really nice hotels in Vegas, and this is very comparable to that, except for the service and the treatment is much better. You walk up through the lobby and there's just a museum. We got to see the Calsonic 32, for example. So you have like this history of the car world at this beautiful hotel. And driving into the grounds the day before, there was a big event there. And so as we got closer and closer, there was just Supras everywhere and S chassis and like all these cars leaving. And then we get to the hotel grounds, park on the underneath, and the cars there were just amazing. And so it started off really good with that experience, some good room service. You open up the door and there's a big track view, which was really cool. So one of our partners out there had a booth at ours meeting. So Kendon from our last video you guys met was able to get his R34 into the event. So as you know from his last video, it was his goal to go to ours meeting with his car, and then to have his car in ours meeting, I thought was extra special. So seeing the caliber of builds, the MCR car, you know, the Midori, you know, just the real history of it, and you know, to see everything in one place, it was a very good day. I really liked going to Fuji Speedway. If you ever go out to ours meeting or Nismo Fest or any event at Fuji Speedway, I highly recommend staying at the Fuji Hotel. It is a bit expensive, but it's definitely well worth it. Just seeing the caliber of all the builds in one spot. I don't know if there's anything individually that I would say is the best, but just the caliber of it. I guess my favorite moment is I got to sneak in and I was watching them do the photo shoot for the GTR magazine, and they had the top secret guys there, and they did this photo where they did a jump, and so they were in the air, and I was just in a position to grab that. I think that's probably the highlight, was just being able to grab that photograph. The overarching theme of the trip, and again, you know, we emphasize the community, and I think that's what I enjoy most about this, is the camaraderie of our customers and the people that we went with was really good. So the overarching theme of the trip was, you know, making it the best experience we could for the people who haven't been to Japan yet, and then, you know, encasing that experience for those that have. Being there by yourself is fun, But having that group of people and that camaraderie, you know, the road trips, for example, driving from point A to point B, having 5 GTRs and flying past each other in the tunnels and stuff. And then, you know, after ours meeting, we rented like a bigger house, like a mansion. There was like 5 cars out front. It looked kind of like a Fast and Furious, if you will. But we had a big dinner and we were all sharing our moments of what was the best of them. You know, one of the guys that went with us had never been out of the country or away from his family on a trip. I think it was just the camaraderie overall and the whole community experience of it, and just having everyone being able to fulfill driving their car within Japan, I think was the crux of it. One of the funner moments, we got to a place called Big Bang, I think it's called. It was like a drift kart setup. It was a big oval, and the track itself was like a roller rink, I guess, if you will. It was kind of greased up a bit, and the car slid around. That was a lot of fun. So just doing like a bunch of little weird offshoot stuff was also pretty fun to do. And Akihabara, if you get to go out there, I'm really into the scale models and the little cars, a little place called Tam Tam, and just being able to get those and bring those back is always fun. So yeah, I think it's the overall community and then just being able to acquire the things that we can't get here. Yeah, next year, stay tuned to our events because I want to plan a couple events where we go out communities. I really like the way this turned out, and I think that we'll be doing this a lot more in the future. I'd like to go once, maybe twice next year. I think we're going to try to get out for Tokyo Auto Salon in January. And then probably late next year, we'll either do the Ars meeting again or Nismo Fest would be fun. Just being able to share this again with everybody and have everybody fulfill that dream of buying a car and then driving it in Japan and going to these famous places like the Hakone and looking out the top of the turnpike and, you know, the food that we experienced. You know, I had a 5-star meal for like $30 in Japan. It's really not that expensive out there. And just immersing yourself in the culture. Like here, it's very much get out of my way. This is my lane. This is my spot. Like out there, they think of each other over themselves. And so it's very refreshing to witness that culture. And so I think for me, the lasting impression of this trip is just the moments that we had and the things that we were able to do. Seeing that Mines car and having that full circle moment, I think is probably one of the highlights for me. If you haven't been to Japan, I would highly recommend you go. It's a lot cheaper than you think. If you can understand numbers and colors, you can get around pretty much anywhere. Everyone's super helpful, and it leaves a positive impact on anyone who can go. I would highly recommend getting to Japan if you can. You can stay tuned with one of our trips, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to help guide you. But yes, I think everyone should go. Thank you for your time and letting us share our story. If this is something that you feel like you like, feel free to reach out to us. Shoot a like on the video, comment, let us know what you think, and we'll see you in the next one.